talking about today is the ditch witch, the carburetor. Now, I'm going to tell you what I did, but you won't believe it anyway, but you probably will. I didn't run it with the carburetor. I just ran it off a can of gas. So a sprayer, so you can do it. It works the same way. But anyway, the carburetor, you have to take the carburetor all apart. Now, if you look in here, look at all this garbage in the bottom here. See all this stuff? You got to get all that out. Because as soon as the gas hits it, it starts going through the carburetor. And remember that when we did the generator one, I said that the thing would sit there and go all the time. Well, that's what that does. So we'll clean all this up. But on this ditch witch, on this Wisconsin, it's got a Wisconsin motor in it, right? And it's got the main jet is in here, this electric solenoid. So when you turn the key off, the solenoid comes out and traps the gas so it shuts off right now. And that's why when we turn this off, it'll just stop right now because it's got electric solenoid, which is kind of cool. These are the idle jets. This is the main jet. All this stuff you have to clean out. This is the venturi going into the carburetor where the gas comes up. Now, if you look on that, it's flat side on one side. Yes, you got to make sure that's in the right spot. And then that's that fuel shut off and main jet. And if you look on it, this is 35. So it's 35. That's what the jet is. This one here is too hard for me to see. And this one here, this is just the venturi. This is like a tube that goes up there and it picks up air and mixes it with it. And this is just the plug for the bottom. Now this gasket's a little beat up. So what we're going to do is we'll take a cornflakes box or something like that and we'll make a gasket. And don't worry, I'll take you with me and I'll show you how to do that. I'm kind of very good at this stuff. So I'll show you how to make a gasket when you don't have a gasket. So what you do is you go get a box of oatmeal. Anything with this type of paper, as long as it's this solid paper, not cardboard. It's got to be the solid paper, not the corrugated stuff. So what you do is you take and put the gasket on there and you basically get the outline of it and then you just cut it out. And everybody says, well, it looks kind of funny, but it doesn't have to be perfect because you're the only one that's going to look at it. Okay, so you just cut the outside off, right? And then you take a knife and cut the inside out. Now, for the holes, I got these fancy tools from Snap-on. These are for taking terminals out, right? From like weather pack terminals and that. And these things are just what the doctor ordered. Because you just go and put that on there and just rub it around a couple times. There, that hole's in there. That hole's in there. And then you just take a little O-ring pick and just pick the cardboard out. Right? And you just roll it around in there a couple times, right? And you'll get the holes in there, right? And then this one here, you just cut it out with a knife. Now make sure the knife's sharp and keep your body parts out from underneath it. Okay? And you get the most of it out with the knife. And then you trim it up with the scissors. Now, I don't want to tell you how many times, but I've never bought a thermostat housing gasket or a transmission extension housing gasket. I always make my own. Now you can buy paper gasket paper, and it's super cheap if you want. Like I got a little ball peen hammer, a little 1/2 ounce ball peen hammer, and use the ball peen hammer and go around. Someday I'll do a gasket that's in town in my big box. And so yeah, you just cut this out, and then I sort of screwed up. I already did it, but you just put it out, and then you just put it on, and you know, the sticks out a bit here and there, but who cares? You think somebody's gonna come in and look at that ditch witch and, oh, you got the wrong carburetor gasket in there? I don't think so. But anyway, that's how you do that. Now this one here is the original one. I'm a great guy for original gaskets. I just use original gaskets and put silicone on them on both sides. Now, this carburetor, when you're putting on a Wisconsin or a Kohler, these bolts bend so easy. So you always use star washers, and you use baby wrenches, because you can't get them that tight with a baby wrench. They vary, I would say, around the 15 pound mark, if that. Just so that it doesn't leak. Okay? So that's all we got for that. We cleaned the carburetor out. We blew it all out. Got all the jetsing. The electric solenoid works. So I'm thinking this baby's going to make that baby hum. So we'll put it back on and we'll try it. I'm sure it'll be just fine. Now remember the other day I was doing a gasket and I was told you I was going to get you my little hammer? There it is right there. Now, it doesn't look like much, but I've had this since 1972, believe it or not. And you know how people have pet peeves? I won't let nobody use this. I don't let nobody use this, believe me. So anyway, it's in the box, my toolbox, and it's in the bottom drawer where nobody knows it is. So it's just a sacred piece. Now, all I use this for is making gaskets, and you'll see why. So we got a piece of junk from Brad, and it's a kind of cool gasket, so I thought I'd show you how to do this. So what you do is you cut a piece of paper about the same size. Remember, it's just old cardboard, solid cardboard, and you just hold it there. Now the thing is, you got to keep it so that it stays all the same. You can't move it, right? So you got to make sure that you don't move it or it won't fit, right? So you just hold it like so and beat it around the edge with the hammer like that, and it'll just, you cut it till it breaks off. See? Isn't that cool? And then you just keep doing that all the way around, right? On the edge. You don't hit it flat, you hit it on the edge because you want the edge to cut the paper. But you don't need to beat on it a whole bunch. You just have to lightly tap it, right? And then when they get into the corner, just flip it over, right? Just like so. And you can cut this one off if you want, you don't need to. So that gets you the outside edge. Now look at that, it looks exactly like that. Isn't that amazing? So, now we're not going to cut this is for an O-ring, but we're going to just cut the inside one. So the same thing, you hold it there, and then you turn the hammer over until you find the edge. Because when you find the edge, it'll leave a mark. If you don't, it won't leave a mark, right? So you leave it on the edge, and when you hit the edge, it'll leave a mark, right? And you just beat it around like that. Okay, then you just pull this piece off, right? And then you put that on there and say, ooh, that fits just perfect. Now, you remember the other one I used the weather pack tool. Well, see, these are 5/16 bolts, so you just hold that there and tap it. Right? And you take it off, right? And then you just pull the little pieces out very gently, right? And there you go, boys and girls. You got yourself a gasket. See that? Then what I do is I put a little bit of copper coat on there, or not copper coat, but this here high temp silicone. This stuff here is unbelievable. Like, you put it on with this little black stuff. This stuff is just unbelievable. I got in trouble once because I put a water pump on a 3406 cat and I used silicone, right? Well, the problem was is that the seal blew about 2 weeks later. And Larry, the guy that went to take it off, couldn't take it off because the silicone was holding it. So I ended up taking it off, but I got it off. But it's kind of funny because, well, you could have even put the bolts in, it would have held it on there. But that's okay. So that's what you do. That's for that there. And that's how you make a gasket. Little hammer.